your career after GoDaddy, right? You've been an investor, you're advising, right, countless founders as just as a really as a mentor, which I very much appreciate. And then you write the book Exit Path: How to Win the Startup Exit Game. Okay, so this is the thing I was all excited about, and I read business books, but I am not the prolific reader that a lot of my fellow founders are. And so when I do see something that is like, this is a playbook, and I, having done M&A for 23 years, selling my companies and now helping my fellow founders do it, I was able to take a lot out of this book. And we look at our business a little bit differently, and we are planning far ahead of any exit that we would ever see now in a very different way. So I very much appreciate just the instructional nature, the real world examples, and I would encourage people to absolutely read it. Would you maybe give us the Cliff Notes version, the highlights? I know we talked about strategic partnerships, which I took away as like that is gold, but there's a lot more there. Maybe I'll leave it to you to pick out
Sure.
some gold nuggets.
Sure, thank you, and really appreciate those words, Todd. They mean a lot, especially from an experienced practitioner like yourself. I'm glad that you approve of the messaging, the approach. So thank you.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
I basically wrote the book that I wish I had when I did my first startup.
Yep.
And it took me about 5 years because I do have other jobs and
Yeah.
family, and it took me a while. But it was good that it took a while because I didn't rush through it. I actually took the time to really systematically get in the mindset of both the acquirer and the seller and the
Mhm.
leadership team, all the stakeholders. There are multiple people involved when you're selling a startup. There is what I call your deal team, right? There is your
Yeah.
key investors, your board. There is your key leadership team members. There are potential partners that you have that need to be um, uh, managed in some way. So, and customers as well. So there's like a holistic approach that I kind of bring to this process. And it all starts with understanding why it is important for a founder, for a team, for a leadership team at a startup to think about their exit early and not wait until they are desperate to sell or that they have an inbound offer. Because once you have an inbound offer, you have to kind of react to it because it could
Mhm.
be a massive opportunity that if you don't capitalize on, you may regret forever. So you have to be ready for that. And
Yeah.
so the sooner you get started, the better. And kind of I take the first part of the book talking about why is it so important. Why is it that so many founders don't even spend 4 hours? The majority of founders spend less than 4 hours on thinking about their exit or doing anything about it.
Mhm.
Staggering statistic. Actually, 40% have spent no time on thinking about their exit.
Yeah.
40%. Now, put that in contrast with the fact that of for every IPO, there are 30 acquisitions. So
Mhm.
an acquisition is the most likely outcome, successful outcome for any startup. The rest go out of business, especially if you're
Yeah.
venture backed, right? You either have to do an
Yeah.
IPO, which happens 1 out of 30 times, you sell, which happens the other times, or you go out of business. So now, when you contrast that with the fact that founders, 40% have spent no time on it, we have a big problem.